this, we are going to cover category of test, common projective test, and then self-report or inventory test. So the one which we have done is also a self-report. So we are going to cover all these in this module and the different category of test. So it can be types of psychometric test and can include the numerical reasoning, verbal reasoning, inductive reasoning. I'll show you all of these, right? Okay. The website as well, and I'll show you that how these all tests will look like. What are the different questions which will be there? Diagrammatic reasoning, then logical reasoning, then error checking, right? So these are the different kinds of tests which can be there. Now, psychometric tests are by no means a new concept. It's not new as per the history, right? It's quite old. They have been used since the early 20th century, when they were originally used only for the purposes of educational psychology. Alfred Binet introduced the first intelligence test in 1905. Right, and that was again for the students to see that in which, to divide that in different classes, right? The test was done. So they have since evolved to become a common feature of selection process, particularly within large competitive organizations. These types of tests are frequently used as they can assess candidates based on their acquired skills rather than their educational background, right? So, see, education, whatever is the background, definitely if the individual is not able to apply that in work and don't have the right attitude to do that, right? So whatever the person knows will not be doing that at the work, right? So that's important to know. So we can categorize these into 3 tests. So one is the aptitude test, then the skills test, and the personality tests, right? So the same aptitude test, skills test, and personality test, right? So aptitude test aim to assess a specific or general set of skills, though this often depends on the type of job that you are applying for, right? So this aptitude test will be different for different position, okay? Based on the requirement, based on the skill set of that particular job, we will check, right? We'll include that particular aptitude test. So it can include numerical reasoning test. So what exactly it is? Used to identify how you interpret data, often via combination of written and statistical information presented in reports, graph, charts, right? Oh. And this is used, in many entrance, right, exam, we use this numerical reasoning. Then comes the verbal reasoning test. So it's used as a way to determine your ability to evaluate detailed written information so as to make an informed decision. We'll see example for each as well. Then comes the inductive reasoning test. So inductive reasoning test, see, there will be some trend or pattern, right? Some diagrammatic pattern will be there, and you have to solve that which pattern will come next. All such kind of test will be the inductive reasoning test. Then diagrammatic reasoning test. These assess your capacity for logical reasoning using flowcharts and diagrams. Logical reasoning, okay, so aims to evaluate your skills in reaching a conclusion, that you have to use your logic, right, to reach to a conclusion. You may be provided with some information and then asked to make a decision on what you have been provided with. So these tests are often known as deductive reasoning test, right? So we are deducing the conclusion, right, by using our logics. Then there can be error checking test, right? So error checking test will assess your ability to quickly identify any errors in complex data. sets such as quotes, combination, alphanumeric characters. Again, depending upon the job as well, right? We'll have different kinds of tests. Right? Then there can be skills test, represent a way for employer to evaluate how quickly you can learn a new skill to competently carry out the job you are applying for. Now, depending on the job you are hoping to secure, the aptitude test may include something such as designing a basic web page. So it depends again on the job, what different kind of test can be included. If you are applying to be a designer or a financial modeling task, so it's mainly the skills, right? The job skills. So if you're applying for a quantitative role in a finance, okay, both capability and skill tests are assessed through paper-based exercises consisting of multiple choice questions completed under exam condition, right? So conditions will be like exam is going on and then you have to perform that test. Okay, so I'll stop. We'll not discuss the personality right now. I'll go through this one by one and we'll discuss about, so see, there is this website which has different kinds of different verbal reasoning, right? Like the arithmetic aptitude as well. Okay. So again, it depends, see, all the positions will not require all these, right? But there are so many. So arithmetic aptitude, obviously, that will not be required. Then comes the data interpretation. So again, so you have to see where you want to use which, right? Then comes the verbal ability, right? So see, in this verbal ability, we have so many. So we discussed about that error spotting, right? So spotting the error, synonyms, antonyms, selecting words, spelling, sentence formation, ordering of words, sentence completion, correction, sentence improvement, completing statement, ordering of sentences, paragraph formation, closure test. So when can we use all these verbal? Like not obviously, not all will be used. So if the job requires you to be very good at, right, the verbal skills, then definitely we can have a such test. We can include such test in the job postings as well. So while we are posting a job, we can include just a short test for filtering the candidate, right, based on these. Yeah. So it will, see, all these aptitude tests will have a timer also, right? And within that time, you will be answering the questions and they will be right and wrong as well. Right. So there are these the different tests. Now, the logical reasoning, which we discussed, right? So again, the logical reasoning, there are so many. So if you click on this, right? So look at the series and then you have to tell that which number will. So there will be, right? You have to put your logic to that. Then it can be the letter and symbols. You must have attempted. Right, then verbal classification, essential part, analogy, artificial language, matching definition, making judgments. And yeah, this is making judgments, right? So based on the statement and all. Okay, so this is, you will give us the idea about the judgment skill, how well you can decide, take the judgment. Okay, so yes, there are different like verbal reasoning. And right, logical problems, logical gains, then analyzing the arguments, statement and assumption, course of action, right? So all these are the different. So course of action, like if only one follows, if only two follows, if either one or two follows. So like that. Okay. So the statement will be there and then you have to tell. So this is the different course of action. Then statement and conclusion. So you have to, okay. And cause and effect, right? So again, depending upon that particular position, we can have different kinds of, right? Different kinds of aptitude test, right? So this was the verbal reasoning. Now there can be the non-verbal reasoning as well, right? So like they can be mirror images, which you have to like tell that which image, right? So these all are the non-verbal reasoning, right? So there are again different types like series, analogy, classification, analytical reasoning, right? So such questions can also be there to see the analytical skill of the individual. And then embedded images, you need to find out that how many, like which image will be next and all like that questions. Okay, so these are the different kinds of like aptitude test which we can include. Right, these are the different types, different kinds. Okay, so we haven't done a lot of slides. Now comes the personality test. So personality assessments enable employers to evaluate your suitability based on your behavior and the way in which you approach your work. So this will be used to determine how well you fit into the organization and the culture of the business. So your responses will often be cross-referenced with those of a top-performing employee or a successful manager. So which will be an indication as to whether you share the same characteristics. All right. But see, this is not the only factor which will decide that you are selecting that candidate or not, right? There will be other deciding factors like the technical skills, the interview and all, right? So overall, we will see, we'll not rely totally on a personality test, but this will be a part of it, a part of the selection process. So employers look at many factors during the recruitment process. So from your knowledge and experience through to your aptitude in areas such as decision making and teamwork, right? So this is a very, right, MBTI. So Myers-Briggs is one of the most commonly used personality test. So we'll not be doing the personality test today, okay? We'll be doing it later, like once we are on that module, then we'll be doing few personality tests as well.